Busted Play podcast is back. Football season is back, which means I'm back. Dylan Marsh here with you, joined by my brother, JD Marsh. Football season's back. We are freaking the flip out, and it's just, I'm excited to get these podcasts going again. And today we got I think it's going to be a little interesting. I have no idea what teams we're doing. We're going to be doing over and under picks. JD wrote down, 22 teams or something?
22 different teams that I think are relevant in their conference this upcoming college football season. So let's get started, Dylan.
All right. We're scratching Notre Dame off this list. I already see that. So
we decided.
Notre Dame is off this list. Can't stand Notre Dame. I don't care what anyone says. Like Notre Dame if you want. I'll still like you as a person. Just won't talk to you for a few months. All right, JD, let's go ahead and get this started, all right? And, guys, first off, these podcasts with me and JD, we're just going to be doing audio because we're ugly as hell, and it's just a lot more simple. But when we actually do the actual Busted Play podcast with Garrett and producer Zach, we will have video. So, in honor of me and JD's childhood, basically our whole childhood, the logo, the picture you're going to be looking at this whole video is the NCAA EA Sports logo. So, bring that game back. CEO of EA Sports, if you're listening, bring that game back. Make some money. Spend some money to make that game, okay? It's going to be worth it. Do whatever you have to save money. We need that game back. Agree?
Agree.
Come on. All right. So, let's go ahead and get started. JD, who's the first team?
We're going to start in the ACC, Dylan. And the first team is...
Did you say athletic? Were you about to say the word athletic? Isn't it Atlantic Coastal Conference?
Excuse me. But we're going to start in the ACC with the defending national champion, Clemson Tigers.
Clemson
Their over-under
Tigers.
win total this year is at 9.5 games.
Okay.
I'm going to go under. I think they'll go 9-3 this year.
You think they're going to go 9-3? All right. Who? Big loss. Who do you think they have a big loss to? Not like a Florida State, but do you think they're going to lose to anybody like, whoa, what the hell just happened?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to lose in Blacksburg when they travel to Virginia Tech.
Oh, okay. All right. Post Frank Beamer is going to take down the post Deshaun Watson. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with you there. I think losing Deshaun Watson is going to be one heck of a loss. Dabo Swinney, I love Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney is probably one of my favorite college coaches in the country. Just the way he carries himself, his faith, all that stuff, and how he puts that into his team. And basically, his team, they act just like him, and I like that about them. But the loss of Deshaun Watson is going to be a huge loss. I think that they will lose to Florida State at home. I think it's going to be a good game because Dabo Swinney's going to have his team ready to play at home. But they play Florida State in, what is that, week? I don't know. It's like the third to last game. I don't feel like counting
12.
right now. But I think that Clemson will beat Louisville at home. Do you got Louisville on this list?
No, I do not have Louisville.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rant about my my Louisville stuff right now. This will be a long discussion just because of Louisville. I think Lamar Jackson is not going to be anything close to what he was last year because on the sole bowl game against LSU exposed the so-called best player in the country. And I think the way unless Lamar Jackson finds a way to actually become a decent pocket passer, I think they'll be all right. But with him trying to scramble all around and the footage that they have, LSU, you could just sit there and watch. You don't even have to. You don't even have to be sitting in a film room going over plays multiple times to know what LSU did and how they stopped Lamar Jackson by using who was it, Kendall Beckwith and Duke Riley, basically just quarterback spying. Because if you have someone fast enough
to cover him,
to basically just sit and watch what he does, there's no way he's going to be able to run on you. And you put pressure on him, he's going to make mistakes. And I noticed that last year, and no one really noticed it until later on in the year. Whenever just like every single time there's a freshman that's just balling out, having a great year toward the end of the year. Just like Johnny Manziel with LSU and all that. And LSU's a team that always exposes people because they always have a great defense. But later on in the year, they always get figured out. There's always tape on them. And that's why they always, but, I guess the first 3 games were enough to win him the Heisman, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
I really don't think he deserved it that much. all props to him, but Louisville's not going to be anything close to what they were last year. So yeah, I'm going to go under for Clemson though.
I totally
I like
agree
the
with you
Tigers,
about,
but
I totally agree with you about Louisville, Dylan.
well,
If you notice, Louisville.
Bobby Petrino is not an amazing coach either.
After the Clemson game, Lamar Jackson's numbers started to decline every week.
Yeah,
and that's just because of film.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm totally right there with you.
Kodak Black is not going to do anything this year. All right, JD, next game, next team. My bad.
We'll go to with the Florida State Seminoles, who also have a 9.5 win total.
Okay. Well, first game of the year against the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I'm rooting for Florida State, and I think they have a legitimate shot at winning. And I say that because, I know we say this every year. Alabama always loses defensive stars every year and always reloads and they're fine, right? But watching Florida State last year and watching DeAndre Francois, I think they have a shot. But I'm going to go ahead and give them a loss right now until they prove me that they can beat Alabama, because I'm not going to put my my reputation on the line for what's the coach's name? My good Jimbo Fisher. I'm not putting my reputation on the line, but I love how they're playing Miami, the third game of the year, getting that rivalry in sooner than later, and I say that's going to be one of the games of the year. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to go ahead and say I think they are over 10 wins, because I love Francois. I love the Akers or whatever, the number one running back in the country 2 years ago is now getting able to play since Dalvin Cook is gone. I love the offense. I still love the defense, because Jimbo Fisher always seems to have a decent defense, at least a team that can get to 10 wins. So I'm going to go over 9.5. I'm going to say they get 10 wins this year. I like them beating Louisville. I like them beating I'm going to go ahead and say they beat Miami, just because Miami's still in the process of whatever. But I also think the Florida game is going to be good if Joey Galloway doesn't spend his money on crap that's not used for school.
If somehow Florida State gets past Alabama.
Whoa. I said Joey Galloway. What's it? Antonio Galloway. Go ahead.
If somehow Florida State gets past Alabama and gets a victory, I don't see anybody on the rest of their schedule that's going to contend with them. I already think they're going to go 11-1 with that one loss to Alabama, so I got them going over.
You had them in the playoff?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to have them in the playoff this year.
All right, so now the next game, their arch rival,
the Miami Hurricanes.
See, this is a team I like. JD, go ahead and get your stuff in.
I am going to go over at 9 wins is their line total.
You can go over now. Okay.
Yes. They have 2 games that worry me this year, and that is at Florida State and then Virginia Tech at home late in the year. And other than that, they don't seem to play anybody that is really – because they return their whole front 7. And they're returning 9 stars on defense, I believe. That defense was raw last year. And I know they're replacing a quarterback, but I can see them definitely getting at least 10 wins this year. So I'm going to go over 9.
I love Mark Richt. I love what he's bringing to the team. Their new uniforms are freaking insane. If you don't know me, I'm a guy that's all about uniforms. I love uniforms. I love thinking concepts of uniforms. That's just the artistic side of me. But I really like what Mark Richt is doing. Recruiting classes these past 2 years have been absolutely insane. And I'm going to go over 10 wins as well. I say they lose to Florida State in a really close game. And then I also think that they will fall to I'm going to go with you, JD. I'm going to say Virginia Tech. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're both just on the whole Virginia Tech's going to be great every year, and they turn out to –
No, I don't think Virginia Tech will be great. I just think that Florida State and or Clemson and Miami come up on them at the wrong time late in the year. I just don't see Miami getting it done against them.
Okay, well, I like Miami.
Maybe getting
I
too
got
big
them
of
over.
a big head.
I would love. I don't know if this is possible. Could Miami and Florida State meet an ACC champ?
Yes, they can.
See,
And
I
that's
would
my
love to see that.
ACC championship game this year.
Okay. All right. Well, next team. Let's fly through this.
All right, we are
Oh,
moving
crap.
on from the ACC to the Big Mighty 10, that which wasn't so mighty in the bowl games last year, Dylan.
They beat Oklahoma, didn't they?
Not in bowl games, Dylan.
Oh.
Bowl games.
Oh.
But the first team on the list will be the Ohio State Buckeyes, and their win total this year is at 10.5 games, Dylan.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be pretty dang good. They're going to be one hell of a football team this year. Why can I not find the Big Ten anywhere on this list? Oh, there they are. Hey. All right, James. What do you say? Over or under 10.5 wins for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
They have recruited so well the past couple years, and they returned 17 starters. There's just no way I can pick under here. I gotta go over.
Okay. Well, let's get. I know what you're gonna say, but who you got? Ohio State or Oklahoma, Mr. Sooner?
I'm gonna give the Buckeyes that one.
Oh, whoa!
Yep.
Wow.
I'm huge Sooner fan here, going into Columbus fully expecting Oklahoma to lose. Not saying that Oklahoma doesn't have a shot. They definitely have a shot, but I wouldn't be one bit surprised at all if Ohio State wins.
Okay.
But I also wouldn't be 100% surprised if Oklahoma wins. It's going to be a great game. I got to go with what I really think is going to happen, and I think Ohio State will win the game.
All right. So look at their schedule. At Indiana, home against Oklahoma, home against Army, home against UNLV, at Rutgers, home against Maryland, at Nebraska, Penn State at home, going to be a good one, at Iowa, overrated, home against Mississippi State,
Michigan
nothing.
State.
What did I say?
Mississippi.
Yeah, sorry, still on the DAC train. Michigan, Jesus, Michigan State at home, Illinois at home, and at Michigan. So if you ask me, they play 3 big games, okay, and 2 of the 3 big games are at home. So I say they beat Oklahoma. Breaks my heart to say that. Beat Oklahoma. I say they lose to Penn State again, and I say Jim Harbaugh. Finally just shows really what Michigan is. And I think Michigan loses to Ohio State again.
So
of course.
You're going to go over 10.5?
I go over. I don't see Michigan unless they're going to show me something that, because wasn't Jabril Peppers supposed to be like the savior of that program for a while? And he can't even get past Ohio State. And it's kind of like, with JT Barrett coming back, Urban Meyer is basically Nick Saban. He is Nick Saban. It's just he's shadowed by Nick Saban, and Nick Saban wasn't there to be Urban Meyer, the greatest coach of all time. I'm going to go over. Oklahoma game is going to be great. I think Penn State's going to win. I think Penn State's coming back. I think Penn State's going to win the Big Ten. We'll talk about that later. I really like Penn State.
All righty. The next team on our list is the Wisconsin Badgers at 9.5. Dylan, and I am actually going to go under here. I think they'll start out 4-0, then they travel to Nebraska. That's where I have them slipping up, getting too big-headed. Clearly, they're more talented in Nebraska to me, but I just think it's a home game for Nebraska, big game. So I think they'll fall there. Then they'll win against Purdue, win against Maryland, win against Illinois, win against Indiana, all the way up until Michigan. They'll fall to them, and then the row the boat, baby. Minnesota gets them, and I have Wisconsin going 9-3.
Okay, well, I'm going to sit there and say I have them losing at BYU. BYU is the team you don't want to go to. Okay, you don't want to go. You do not want to meet BYU at home or at a neutral site. If you're at your place, it's okay. But when you go to BYU, when you go to Mormon territory, it's just, I don't know what it is about that team. They always like to come in and just surprise everyone. So I got them losing to BYU. All right, beating Northwestern, beating Nebraska, Purdue, Maryland, Illinois, Indiana. I got them beating Iowa, but then I have them losing the last two, Michigan and at Minnesota. I like what you said about Minnesota. Row the boat. Their coach there is just he's one of those coaches where the players will do anything to win for him because he's such a player's coach, and
that's their big rival.
Exactly. So. And the whole thing about Nebraska, I just think both teams are going to get confused because they have the exact same uniform, and there's going to be like, what? I don't know what to do, coach. I don't know what to. Maybe they'll wear the alternates or something. Nebraska. Maybe they'll wear that black that they wear. That's terrible. They think they look cool, but it's basically the same thing. You can't even see the lettering on their jerseys, and I don't know. But the Badgers, J.J. Watts. I don't think there's another Watt. I think all the Watts are gone. So the Badgers are going to just go downhill fast. No Watts, no wins, no W's, no W's.
All right, and. So
I have no idea if there's any Watts left. There might be.
Under or over, Don?
All right, let's go. I'm gonna go.
It's 9.5.
I'm going under.
You're going under.
I'm going under.
All righty.
The Badgers of Wisconsin. They like to eat the cheese.
All right, so one of your favorite teams, Don.
Here we go.
State.
The Nittany Lions.
They're at 9.5.
The school of controversy. But this year is going to be good controversy. They're going to have upsets. They're going to have close games where they're going to make you sit on the edge of your seat, even though you don't even think you like Penn State. But you have to love Coach Franklin. I don't know what it is about him. He's the coach. First you had Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien, now the head coach of the Texans, comes in. He's like, you know what? I'm going to turn this program around. All this stuff that's happened, it's out the window. It's not Penn State. I'll go ahead and tell you that right now. It's not Penn State. That's exactly what he said. He stayed for what, a year? Then he left to go to the NFL. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to complain. I'm a Houston Texan fan. Whatever. But James Franklin comes in and is totally 360 degrees or 180, whatever. I don't want them back to where they were, but 180 degrees has changed his program around, has basically, I think, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. Was it Shanky or whatever? Bishop Shanky, the running back? Sankey. That dude is an animal. He's going to come out and bust it this year. I say Penn State wins the Big Ten, or at least gets to the Big Ten championship again. But let's see. I'm going to have them win. I say they beat Michigan at Ohio State. That's going to be a tough one. I think I'm going to give that one to Penn State. But then I might have them go undefeated this year. I don't know. The ones, because they don't have a tough schedule. They play Akron, at Pittsburgh, Georgia State, at Iowa, Indiana, Northwestern, then Michigan and Ohio State and Michigan State, all three back-to-back. That's going to be the weeks you're going to want to watch Penn State, because those are the weeks, if they're going to lose a game, it's going to be those. Or watching just end up losing to Rutgers or Maryland.
So you got them go over, right?
I have them going way over. I really like what Penn State has this year.
All right, you might think I'm crazy, but I have them going under 9.5. I got them. Surprisingly, I don't know why. I just have a feeling the Hawkeyes are going to get them in Week 4. I have a feeling Iowa will step up. I think Michigan will get them. No, let me take that back. I think they'll beat Michigan, but I think them losing, I think they'll lose to Ohio State, and then I think Michigan State will get them. So I got them going 9-3, and that's just my thought. Okay. So we'll agree to disagree on that one.
All right. Well, now we're going to old Khakis himself. Old Khakis. I definitely have them beating Florida now since since basically the only playmaker is out, or that we know of. There's going to be a playmaker born in this game. But I had the Wolverines beating the Gators, and everyone's going to start questioning the SEC toughness or blah, 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 blah. I don't give a crap about the SEC. So I have them beating Florida. I have them losing to Penn State. But then I have them beating Wisconsin and losing. So, yeah, I'm gonna say over. One game over.
So you say they're going
10? I'm going 10. I say they 10-2. They lose to Penn State and Ohio State. They just can't handle states anymore. I don't know what it is. But Harbaugh's a great coach. He's a great recruiter, great personality. But I think he just brings too much. I think he focuses on more recruiting, getting attention there, hoping that the talent he brings will base. I think the talent that he brings should be a national championship team. but I think the distractions are a huge deal in Michigan. I don't know. This is just me looking from afar. I can sit there and see Michigan winning a national title with their recruiting, but I don't know. Jim Harbaugh, he's a great coach, takes all these trips out of the country, bonds the team, but I just don't know what it is. I just don't see them winning against Ohio State or even Penn State. I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us. It's just,
this is one that's tricky because it's not a half, so it has to be 10 or more or 8 or less. Michigan, man, it's really, really, really difficult for me to pick any team to win at least 10 games when you lose as many starters as Michigan lost. That Florida game's a toss-up to me, even though
really?
Florida,
No, okay.
I thought Florida was going to win it before, and now it's a toss-up to me. I think I'm going to give them over, Dylan. I think they'll beat Florida now, and the only games I can see them losing is Penn State, Ohio State definitely, maybe Wisconsin or maybe Minnesota. But I could see them going 10-2, so I'm going to give them over.
Okay. Well, now on to our
boys.
Boys in the flat state, not Kansas, but the other one, Oklahoma. We got the Oklahoma Sooners. You know, if you bring up Oklahoma State to me, I'll probably punch you in the face. I don't know what it is. Hate the orange. I hate both oranges. I don't know. I've been to Stillwater. Wasn't impressed. They had what was it, Eskimo Joe's? That was good. That was really good. But, you know, everything else is trash. Right. You know, I'm sorry. Okay, so my rant's over about Stillwater.
We're on to the Big 12. So Oklahoma's win total is 9.5 games. I am going over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over, too. I say they go 11-1.
That is my main. That is exactly what I'm thinking doing. If they can somehow come out of that Ohio State game with the win, I see them going undefeated. I don't see anybody else on their schedule that is remotely even close to as talented as Oklahoma, especially on offense, because they are.
Well, on offense is always Texas Tech. Texas Tech is always the most talented statistically wise.
The main reason why I think Oklahoma's going to be phenomenal.
Or Oklahoma State's going to be really good this year too, though. I'll give them that.
Well, Oklahoma State doesn't have the offensive line Oklahoma has this year. Oklahoma might have the best offensive line in the nation. What? You joking?
Oh, sorry, I sneezed.
Oh.
No, it was a laugh. Okay. Well, I say they go 11-1. I just think if we still had Mixon and Pirine, I would consider getting a win in Ohio State. But it's just one of those things is we lost two of the top 5, maybe top 10. I'll go top 10. Top 10 running backs in Joe Mixon and Samaje Pirine. You know, Pirine's really just punching his way through. I think he's going to be a great NFL player. Mixon's going to punch his way out, and it's just one of those. I don't think the offensive line's great. I think Mayfield's going to be the reason that they do anything this year. I say they win the Big 12. I think they only win one game. I say, you know, we probably meet Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship, but we'll see what Lincoln Riley's made of. Because you had Big Game Bob, who would go to the Big 12 championship. Yeah, he would win them, but then he would also lose them whenever we're supposed to have the number 1 team in the country. I don't know. We'll see what Lincoln. I'm really hesitant to say what they're going to do because I haven't seen what Lincoln Riley can do as a head coach. I'll be a lot more confident next year if we do go 11-1. Hell, if you can go 10-2, I'll say the Sooners are going to be in great hands with Lincoln Riley. But yeah, I say they go 11-1 just because at Ohio State, I almost feel it's impossible to win there in Ohio State unless you just block a punt, like a field goal like Penn State. But I will say this: Texas and next year is going to be a team to worry about. Oklahoma State this year at Oklahoma State really worries me.
Does not worry me.
Okay. Well, you've never been to Boot Pickens, actually in Boot Pickens, and it's one of those stadiums where it's so small that I probably can throw a frisbee and hit the other side, but how loud it gets and how pumped up the fans are and how it's just one of those mental things, when you're playing at home. I don't know. The Cowboys got a great offense, great speed at receivers, a really good quarterback in Mason Rudolph. I do say Oklahoma. I will say Oklahoma has a better defense and a better offensive line. I'll agree with you on that. Man, it's tough for me to sit there and put concrete Sooners win because I know how that stadium is. I went there multiple times when I lived in Oklahoma. It's just one of those toss-ups, but I will say Oklahoma gets that out. But, yeah, easily go over.
All right. Well, speaking of Boone Pickett Stadium.
0-12.
We got Oklahoma State, and their win total line is 9. Dylan, what you got?
Oh, man, give me a minute. You go ahead. I got to sit here and think about it. I got to think about this. Got to really study who they're playing, playing University of South Alabama. Mike Gundy's 50 now. He's a man.
I'm going to go under, Dylan. I got them winning 8 games.
Okay.
I think they'll lose to Kansas State at home. I think they'll lose to Oklahoma at home. I think they'll lose at West Virginia and at Texas.
All right. Well, they're not playing Western Michigan, so you don't have to worry about a win or loss there.
Michigan.
Central Michigan, yeah. Western Michigan probably would have beat them last year. I say they lose at Pitt. Matt Canada's gone, but still going to be a decent team. I say they lose at Texas and against Oklahoma. Everyone else, I have them winning. I don't know what it is about Texas. I think this is going to be the big win for Texas this year, either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. That's what it's going to be. It always is. But I'm going to say right there. I guess it's over. I don't know what to say if I have 9 wins for them.
So you'd say a push.
Okay, a push. It's a push. All right.
All right.
What is that? It's a push. It's pushing. It's pass interference.
No, it just means that it doesn't count. So, Dylan, just pick an over or under.
I said 9, so I don't know what to say.
Over or under, you got to go 10 or 8.
That's stupid. I think they're going to get 9.
All right. Well,
okay, I'll go 8.
So you go under.
Yeah, just not give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, and our next team, we're going to stay in the Big 12, and we're going to go with the Texas Christian Horned Frogs.
Is Kenny Hill still the quarterback?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so I say they win 3 games.
Win, loss, 1, 2-1.
Kenny Trill.
Their line is at 7.5, Dylan. And honestly, man.
I say Kansas beats them this year.
What?
Kansas Jayhawks.
We're not talking about Texas, Dylan.
JD. Kansas is an up-and-coming program. In about 10 years, they'll get to about 8 or 9 wins. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. Give me Charlie Wyeth. No, I'm just kidding. He's not there anymore. He ate himself right out of wherever Kansas is. You know what? I'm going to stop talking right now.
I'm going to have to go under, Dylan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going under. I don't think TCU's their offense. They have. I know next year, whenever old boy from Parkway, Rogers, and maybe even Terrence Marshall team up there, I think in a couple of years they'll be very good. I don't see Kenny Hill unless he's improved a lot with his accuracy. No, I have them losing to Oklahoma State, West Virginia, possibly even Kansas State, Oklahoma, and probably even Texas Tech. So, yeah, I'm going to go under for sure.
All right, Dylan. Our arch rival is next, and that is the Texas Longhorns at 7.5 wins.
Honestly, after last year, you feel like this would be a very gracious win total. But it is University of Texas, so it's of course people are gonna give them. I'm right. I am not bashing Texas right now. I'm just saying from last year you would think that they would have a lower win total. But I will say one thing about Tom Herman, the new coach who went from Houston to Austin. Tom Herman is one of those coaches that can turn a program around like that, and he did that in Houston. And he can definitely, if he can do that in Houston, he can definitely do that at the University of Texas. What's their quarterback's name? Belushi, not Belushi.
Buechele.
Buechele. Buechele is one of those quarterbacks that if you polish him up enough, he can't be another Colt McCoy type. He's really small, kind of like a Drew Brees. He can't really see, so he's got to run out of the pocket a little bit. But I'm never going to say I like what I see in Texas, but we'll say in the next couple of years they're going to be back to where they were. Maybe not like every year national title, but every year contender for the Big 12 championship. Tom Herman's is one of those coaches that gets his players pumped, and I say that I say over. I say they get 8.
I say they get 8 or 9. I think their definite 3 losses to me are at USC, Oklahoma, and I'm going to say West Virginia on the road.
Yeah, I was thinking they lose to West Virginia. I'll give respect to Texas for putting USC in their schedule.
Yes.
Especially after last year. Well, they had it planned before last year, but still the fact that they're playing them, they try to get better. They basically make their losses look good, which is I respect that, because if you lose to a big team, I'm not gonna. If you lose to Kansas like they did last year, I'm gonna freaking just get all over every Texas fan I meet. But if you lose to USC, that's expected. Sam Darnold. Darnold. Lawson Scott is one of those. He's just going to be one of those great college quarterbacks. I can already tell.
Yep. And speaking.
Oh, we got the USC Trojans. I didn't even plan that. Wow.
Speaking of the
something
USC
else.
Trojans, we are on to the Pac-12, and their schedule or the Vegas line for them is 9.5. As they
Put some
are
respect on
the favorites from ESPN to win the Pac-12 this year. So, Dylan, who do you got? You got 9. What do you got? Over or under for USC?
Let me look at their schedule real quick. They beat Stanford. They beat Texas. They start off 3-0. They go to California. They're 4-0. They go to Washington State. They're 5-0. Go to Oregon State. They're 6-0. They go to Utah.
I'm gonna have to go over. I think they're too talented. I really do think they're way too talented.
I honestly see them going undefeated.
Really?
If there's a loss in there, it's going to be, I think, Utah or Arizona or UCLA. I don't know why. I hate USC, but I always seem to root for them against UCLA. So, I don't know. I think Utah is going to be a great team like they were these past couple of years. They're going to be a decent team to look out for, especially a team not to take. You have to take them seriously, especially if they're coming to your house. But yeah, I say over.
All right, so you got over.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if they go undefeated and then basically treat it like a Pete Carroll type year, go undefeated and then somehow just mess everything up.
All right, the next one is the Washington Huskies.
Oh, my goodness. They embarrassed me last year, didn't they, Jay?
Yes,
damn Huskies, really. I picked Washington to upset Bama in the playoff, and by God was I wrong. My
Me
goodness.
and Garrett tried to sit there and tell you, Dylan.
Well, JD, to make it, you got to make it.
Not pick against Alabama.
Oh,
In
you
those
got to
type
pick
of games.
Alabama against sometimes. Because, JD, just imagine if Washington ended up beating Alabama. I would have looked like a flipping genius. But I'm humble enough to sit there and say, oh, yeah, it was a dumb pick, But if they would have won, I would have looked like a pure genius. So,
All right, well, Vegas is very high on Washington this
so
year,
am I.
Dylan.
I really am.
They win total is 10.
Yeah. Well, I say that they meet USC in the Pac-12 championship.
That's exactly what I think. So too.
I think over. I think that they will lose. Wait, hold on. Oregon's trash. At Stanford kind of worries me a little bit for them. But I'm definitely going over. I say they win 11 or 12. I think the Pac-12 is going to be one of those conferences you're like, oh, is Pac-12 the greatest conference in college football right now? It's like, no, they just don't have a lot of talent. They have 2 really good teams with USC and Washington.
I'm the same way. I just don't see how talented they are. I think they might go 11-1, but I don't see anybody. They might be back in the playoff if they end up beating USC, but I just don't see it.
Well, either USC or Washington's going to be in there regardless. So,
yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to the next one. We have
The Stanford.
Let's skip
Cardinals.
Stanford. We're skipping Stanford. All right,
sure?
let's go on to let's move to the SEC. This is stuff I want to kind of get this rolling, and we're going into SEC. And
All right.
I'm only interested in two teams right here in the SEC, and of course that's LSU and Alabama. But let's go ahead and start off with the mighty Nick Sabans.
I got them going over 10.5, going undefeated for me.
All right. Well, Jalen Hurts is going to be one of those. He's going to be one of those special quarterbacks like McCarron. Makes plays. He shows up. He gets first downs. I really like Jalen Hurts. I really like him. He's quiet, humble. Just one of those quarterbacks you want on your team. Tries hard. Not the biggest guy, but has the biggest heart. Loves his mama, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over, but I will say, look out for a Mississippi State upset. But if it happens, hey, listen, if it happens, it's going to be because the quarterback, was it Fitzgerald? I can't remember. He's a Johnny Manziel type with receivers just like Mike Evans. He has a couple of them, and I will say it would be one. It's going to be a shootout.
Does he have the offensive line like Johnny Manziel?
Johnny Manziel didn't need an offensive line. He ran around too much. He didn't need an offensive line, Jenny. So when it comes to that, again, this is one of my stupid picks, but I'm going to watch that game thinking that this quarterback could actually make some plays that actually keep them in the game to where they could possibly win at home against Alabama. You never know what's going to happen, James. But I have them beating LSU. I have them beating against, of course, Ole Miss, Colorado State. And, again, I have them beating Florida State because they never lose an opening round game. They never lose opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So over.
All right, so the next one is the Auburn Tigers.
Under.
8.5 win total.
I go under.
I'm going under, too. I don't think that Jared Stidham is the real deal. I think that this is another Jarrett Johnson situation going on for them. I do say they will get Clemson. I think they'll get Clemson this year.
I say they lose to Clemson, lose to Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State's going to be underrated. They lose to LSU. They lose to Arkansas. Yeah, I don't think – and Bama. I don't think they're going to have a great year.
I'd say they lose to LSU, Arkansas, Georgia, Bama. Yep, that's my losses.
All right. Kirby Smart's Bulldogs out of Georgia, 8.5. I'm going to go under and just say 8.
Okay. I'm looking at their schedule. They travel to South Bend. I can see them starting out 4-0. I can see them losing to Tennessee.
Oh, man, we got the LSU Tigers coming up next.
I'm going to have them go. I'm going to go under. I think they'll win 8 games.
All right, well. Now I got the LSU Tigers coming up, all right? LSU
what'd you get
is
for
9. Under. 8. All right. So we have BYU opening up against LSU, all right? And like I said, BYU is a team you do not want to meet in a neutral site, which they are in Houston. So I'm going to say LSU wins this one purely on the run game of Darius Geis. I say that they will. I sit on you. I say that they. I say LSU wins that one. Then I say they go on and they start off 5-0. Then they play at Florida. I'm not sure how to think about that one. I'll say they win and go 7-0, beat Auburn, beat Ole Miss. Then they lose to Bama. And then I say they lose to Arkansas. So I will say over, but barely.
Okay. I have them starting out 5-0, like you do. But I have them losing at Florida. I have them winning the next 2 games against Auburn and on the road at Ole Miss. But I have them falling to the Mighty Tide in Tuscaloosa. But then I've been flip-flopping. I've been saying that they'll go 8-4, 9-3. But I've come to my senses watching Matt Canada's offense and the talent he has down there in Baton Rouge. I could see him going 10-2, so I got them going over with their 2 losses being to Bama and Florida.
All right. So moving on to Florida. Got they have them at 8?
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably because they can never have a steady quarterback. Am I right? It's a Tim Tebow there. Oh, he's hitting dingers. All right. Tim T. Okay, I have them losing to Michigan. I have them beating UNCO, whoever the hell that is.
Northern Colorado.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely a win. I say they lose to Kentucky. I say they lose to Florida State. So, Push?
I got
Is that a
them
push?
going over.
Okay.
I got them going over. I got them going 10-2.
All right. Now we got Tennessee. No, we're taking Tennessee off the list. I can't. I really don't like Tennessee that much. Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
So what'd you have, under?
Yeah, no, push kind of. I said I think they'll go 8-3.
Okay.
All right, sorry, Jeremy. I don't want to talk about Tennessee. It's another orange. I just can't say. I just hate the color orange. You know, a lot of buttons in front of me are the color orange right now. All right, but Texas A&M, Kevin Sumlin, 7. Oh Lord, what do you think, James? I really don't know too much about A&M this year. Ever since Manziel, they just don't interest me. No one's gonna top Johnny Manziel. We thought Kenny Hill was for a game, but I don't know. You see, I think they play UCLA again. Say they lose to UCLA, then they win all the other. Nope. They lose to Arkansas, lose to Bama.
I'm gonna
Florida.
I think I'm gonna have to say pushed on this one. I think they'll go 7-5.
I'll go under. I'll say 6. Not a big fan of A&M this
You're
year.
gonna go under?
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
I'll have them win 8 games. I'm gonna go over. All right, Arkansas.
Oh, pig! Jared Cornelius is my guy. Yes, we know him from
Evangel.
from Shreveport, from Evangel Christian Academy, but I think he honestly might be one of the top receivers in the SEC this year. He's very underrated. He's not big like Malachi Dupree. He's not, he might be as fast as Amari Cooper, but I've always liked what I see in Jared Cornelius. He's got some great hands. He's just one of those players that you don't know how to explain. He's just that good. And I just don't know if they have a quarterback to throw to him.
Their win total is 7.
7. I'm gonna have to say push on that one because they're gonna lose to Bama. I think they'll lose to.
I got them going over.
Okay, well I'm gonna say push. I say they lose to Bama. I say they lose to LSU, Mississippi State. You know what? Yeah, I'll say over. I'll go 8 wins. Let's do that.
I think they get 9.
Okay.
Maybe
now we're
8 or 9.
fast forwarding to
And
the
now
last team on the list,
and
the
it is-
Kentucky Wildcats, who I think, with the leadership of the other Stoops, is going to be a
Man,
force. They're going to be
They
a
are
force.
a dark horse, I'm telling you. I got them over 7 wins. I really think they are a dark horse in this.
I
SEC
really think so. I don't know what it is about them. They just play as a team.
Man, dude, they finished strong last year. They have 8 return stars on offense, 9 on defense. I can see them winning at Georgia. I can see them beating Tennessee. I can see them. Honestly, I can see them actually legitimately winning every game other than against Florida.
Let's see. I'll have them losing to Mississippi State. And actually, no, I'll have them beating Mississippi State. Is what I meant to say. But I'm gonna love to see the Louisville Kentucky game again at the end of the year.
So you got them going over 7 wins, Dylan?
Yes, I have them over 7 wins. This Kentucky team, if recruiting stays the same, they might become one of the top dogs in the SEC East, which isn't too much to say, but I guess you can say you're good in the SEC. So, wow, that actually went by a lot faster than I thought, JD.
Would you like to make your playoff prediction?
Oh man, my playoff predictions: Bama versus Washington. Again, no, I'm sorry. Let's go Bama USC. I'm gonna go Bama USC for 1-4. Then I'm going to go Florida State, Oklahoma for 2-3.
Okay. I think it's going to be a year of the rematch this year. I think we will have Alabama versus Florida State and Ohio State versus Oklahoma.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. We start college football season early here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Coming to you recorded from the 1130 The Tiger Studios in Shreveport, Louisiana. JD Marsh, thanks for joining me, man. We'll be back here again
Always
probably
a
next
pleasure.
week. We'll start talking college football, giving our predictions week 1. Dylan Marsh Sports, Busted Play Podcast. College football is back. NFL is back.
Thank God.
Everybody have a blessed rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening. Thank you. subscribe, and we will be back with more videos. Peace!